Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame. Okay, I have time. As y'all know, it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I have a few shirts. I've had this shirt for 5 to 7 years. I've barely worn it, and I love this shirt. I try not to wear it, but the few times that I've worn it, which I literally can count on one hand, something has gotten on it, something has brushed up against it, something, and it was always when I was at work, and I'm like, what in the world? Like something random would happen, and it wouldn't be my fault. Y'all, as you can tell by the title, this is the recap for the latest episode of Power. Y'all, this is an old Bantu night out, so I was like, okay, these right here, the two that I'm doing right here, literally there were no curls. So I was just like, look, I'm gonna try and see what happened, because usually if I try to just redo it, it won't cooperate with me especially like if I really wanted to do it. So that one cooperated. I don't know about this one because I split it in half. So we'll see. Is that doing it too? See, that don't count. So yeah, that one did fine and this one did fine. So I'll say. Dre popped up on Saks when he was leaving out of his building. You know, the building that he lives in, it seems as though it's one of those where it has a nice doorman. It should be hard to get into. It looks pretty upscale-ish, as it should for the type of money that he should be bringing in. But at the same time, this is New York and the prices of a lot of things are high. But at the same time, like I said, I feel like it's expensive. Anyway, he rolled up on him and was like, look, I ain't got time for this. You need to get this ankle monitor off of me. I can't live like this. And I'm done with you anyway. And so Saks wasn't trying to hear that and was like, no. Without really trying to go into detail, he was just like, nah, it's gonna stay on you. It's just gonna be what it is. So he got in his feelings. Saks went on by his business. Y'all don't know if I said Stacks or Saks the first time, but anyway, I always mean Saks. Anyway, Saks went on by his business. So Dre called Ghost and told him the situation and what's going on. And he was like, that's the reason why I meet up with you when everything went down with Jason. I got this ankle monitor on and all this other stuff. And so he was like, man, you might well go ahead and stay away from me with all that BS. Ain't got time for that. And don't call me. I don't want no affiliation with you. He went all the way off and hung up in Dre's face. I laughed. I'm sorry. I busted out laughing. So, of course, he was angry all over again. Y'all, so anyway, Cash is at the house, the new house. And, of course, since he's living so far away from the city, he's zoned for school elsewhere. So the school that they have him in, they already gave him all kinds of homework. School ain't started or whatever, and it's all in an effort for him to be at the same level that he was going to be at before. And apparently the work is harder and he ain't here for it. So while he in his feelings, Keisha and Tommy wanted to talk to him about life and was like, look, we know you have to adjust to being here. We needed to be here. A lot has been going on in the city, and this is gonna be a really, really great start for us, whatever. Then they eventually started to talk about him growing up and how he, is a young man now and that he needs to be careful. There's bullying going on, but at the same time, there's a lot of stuff going on with law enforcement, and that there are certain things that he needs to do so that he basically can come home alive. So yeah, sad to say, but they had to throw that in there. And I was just like, well, dang, that's messed up that you actually have to start having conversations like that, because it's just ridiculous. That's really what you have to do. And there are a lot of people who have really started having that conversation as soon as their children can speak, especially with the little boys, like can understand and speak. It's sad that you have to do that, but you have to, and they do the most, because as you've seen, there are little children who have gotten killed for playing and pointing little toy guns, whether they looked realistic or not, even if they had the little orange tip on it or not, and there was literally water coming out of it or nothing, and the child just said pew 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 pew, like they've been killed for that and for less. But I digress. So yeah, so Saxe ended up rolling up on his old boss. What is her name, y'all? Tamika rolled up on her job, talking to her. He actually told her everything that's been going on and fessed up to the things that he's done, how he got caught up. And so, given the job that she has, she's kind of the person that you would go to, weigh your options, see what she can do for you and all the other stuff. And she was like, look, as of right now, you're going to have to do one or two things. You're going to have to prove that Tommy is the one who killed Proctor, or you might as well go ahead and get ready to go to prison. And I'll just be looking for, a white collar type level prison for you to go to. And you're going to serve 8 to 10 to 15, or however long it's going to be for the crimes that you've committed. And he was just looking like, and I'm just looking like, sir, I understand that you feel as though you have this privilege because of, this, because you're not this, but I'm gonna need for you to go on and get ready for that. He need to die. I'm sorry. I'm tired. Every time somebody come around him, they get killed and nobody had time. Anyway, I digress. Y'all, Saxe. Y'all gonna hear me say Saxe about 500 times today. Saxe then rolls up on Tariq while he's at school. And y'all know he started at a new school. They're having a tour. And so he's off by himself walking to wherever his next destination is going to be. He was like, hey, you're Tariq, right? And he over here trying to make small talk. And he was like, yeah, I remember you. And he was like, yeah, you ain't supposed to be talking to me without my parents being present. And it's like, why are you talking to him? Like, despite whatever he's done or how old he is, you need to not insult his intelligence. Don't insult that boy's intelligence. He's smart, but he be doing dumb stuff. He do the most, but he is smart. Anyway, he said that, and he was trying to make him fess up to leaving the door open for Tommy to shoot up the house. So yeah. Anyway, Keisha came home, and Saxe, y'all, I'm so tired. Saxe rolled up right on behind her. She barely got out of the car yet, and he done rolled up on her, and she's trying to get her dry cleaning out of the car and was like, what are you doing here? You need to leave. This is private property. And he was like, look, you need to go ahead and fess up and say that Tommy did these things, or you gonna go down. And so she was like, I ain't got nothing to do with whatever going on. I don't know nothing about nothing. And so he was like, well, do what you do, but you're going to go down as an accomplice if you don't fess up to the crimes. And so she told him that he needed to get off the property and left and went on in the house, went on about her business. Y'all, so Tariq is in class and this teacher is teaching, and y'all know the type of schools that they put him in. They try to put him in the best schools. And the school that he was in, yet again, he is a minority. And the teacher ended up asking a question, and nobody wanted to raise their hand or volunteer to give an answer, and so he called on a white student. The white student gave an ignorant answer, like he really didn't know nothing. He just seemed like one of those kids where the parent was like, I have all this money, my child is gonna go to the best school, and I'm just gonna pay their way through, even though they're dumb. Like, that's the kind of response that child gave, in my opinion. And then after that child gave that dumb response, he ended up calling on Tariq. Tariq is smart, whether a lot of us have forgotten or not, and he answered the question eloquently, and he gave a really good response. So class was over, and he ended up asking Tariq to stay behind, and when he did that, he, kind of gave him a little praise for that, and then in the same breath, he turns around and was like, are you holding? And I was like, did you just ask this boy, was he holding? What is going on? Y'all, come to find out, one of the teachers or whatever, somebody, administrator, or whoever it was at Choate, sat up there and told him the backstory of what was going on at the other school. And so he ended up saying to him, no, I ain't got nothing what you talking about or whatever. He done took this boy book bag and searched it, didn't find nothing. And I'm just like, this ain't even the whole first full week that went by yet. Like, you doing the most. Get this boy a month before you roll up thinking he got drugs. Because he was just like, this would be a great place to sell. And the way he came off, I was like, do you want to buy? Do you want to be a partner with him? Or are you actually concerned that he's going to be bringing drugs into the school and you're not here for it? Like, what is really going on here? So after that situation happened, he went on by his business. So I was like, Lord have mercy, what kind of teacher is this? Y'all, anyway, so Tommy's mama popped up at their house. she forced her way in the house and was like, yeah, I'm gonna take this room over here. Y'all have plenty of room. Keisha looking at her like, no, you need to go home. Tommy bought you a house. You have all the space you need at your own house. And so then she gonna read and was like, do you know what happened to Holly? And I guess she thought that was gonna scare her into just kind of cowering out of kicking her out of the house. She actually told her what happened to Holly, everything that went down, and you could tell that she was a little scared about it, but she was just like, you know what, you gotta get up out of here. And she politely kicked her out. This heifer brought bags and everything, like she was finna move in. I'm like, girl, why you always want to be around your son? Like, you be doing the most. That boy is grown, like he 30-something or 40-something years old. Why you want to be up under your son all day, every day? I cannot. Their relationship was already strange to begin with. So it's like, why you want to be up under your son all day, every day like this? Like, girl, go to a rehab facility. That's what you need to do. Spend your time there. Anyway, Tariq went to the daycare right after that and met up with Tasha and told her what happened at the school. And so, of course, she was like, well, did you tell him anything? And I'm like, girl, why did you even ask? Why did you waste your breath asking him that? But anyway, of course, he didn't say anything. And, you know, soon after that, she was like, you know, I'm going to teach you the game. And, you know, this is going to be an after school job for you. And cutting a brick, you know, to make a profit, because he saw all this money that she pulled out. He was like, oh, that's mine. And so she was like, yes, this is yours, but you have to use all of this to go back into the business. Like, she was teaching him all these different things because he heard all the money. It was like $25,000 or $18,000 or something like that. So he was like, what? Really? And she was like, you know, it might sound like a lot of money, but it's not, because all this stuff has to go back into Ring Up. You got to go to your distro. You got to do all this stuff. Like, you got to go do all this stuff. You got to pay the people who out there on the corners, in the classrooms, and at the dinner parties, or wherever you're going to have your soldiers going to sell the drugs for you. You got to pay them. You got to pay your employees. You got to pay yourself. You got to re-up. There are so many expenses that you ain't thinking about, sir, because you have been stealing product. And this will be your first time being able to go legit, in a sense, and doing it the way that you're really supposed to do it and incurring those costs. So they're in the middle of talking, and her mama busts in the door. And she apparently was looking for Yaz because she was supposed to pick her up or something. And of course, she just saw all the money on the table. Tasha trying to move the money off the table. And before all that, you know, before her mama walked in, she did tell Tariq, she said, look, these are all the rules that you need to know. These are my rules. I have 3 rules. No lying, no using, and no stealing. And those are amazing rules, I'm just saying. Y'all, but anyway, after her mama busted in and saw what was going on, he went on by his business because he had to go get his tuition check for the school that they're going to. So when she sent him off, her mama was like, what you doing in here? You running drugs through here? And she was like, no. Because at first, of course, she tried to lie to her mom. Was like, no, I ain't doing nothing with no drugs. And then she was like, no, I'm not running drugs through the daycare and all that stuff. Because she was just like, don't sit up here and lie to me. Because she really tried to sit up there and lie and say all the money that she saw was money from the parents who dropped their kids off. She was like, no, I know the type of money that these parents bring in. So I know that's not what that's for. It got to the point where she was like, don't be bringing my grandson into this. You've already lost a child and all this other stuff. So she was like, we've already lost Tariq. There's nothing that we can do. And so she was just like, look, I got to do what I got to do to save him. This is going to be my way to save him. And her mama politely told her, you can't save him. Only Jesus can save him. And hopefully he can save you too. And walked off on her. I was like, oh my. Y'all, so anyway, Tariq went to his daddy to get the tuition check. He'd have read him again. He'd have sat up here and called him Ghost something terrible. I thought Ghost was gonna sling him out the window. The way that Ghost looks at him when he tries him in general and when he calls him Ghost. Y'all, the way my mama used to look at us when we've done wrong or we were about to do wrong and we were about to try her, if we were trying my mama, there was a certain look. And Ghost has that look whenever Tariq comes around and he's trying him. And as soon as he looked at him like that, I said, oh my gosh. He was saved by the bell because Ramona came and apparently he had a meeting with her. And that's when he ended up introducing Ramona to him. And y'all, they were talking. And so she was like, oh, I think he would make a great lieutenant governor or something, she said. And then he was like, don't they do background checks or something like that on that? Don't you got to pass a background check? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That couldn't have been my mom. My mama is the type of person, she would not care who you are in front of. I don't care if you are a state trooper in the house. I will slap you across the room if you embarrass me or you try me in front of company. You getting slapped. Like, I'm just saying. I understand that sounds abusive and terrible, and on certain levels they are, but I'm just saying the threat alone used to keep me out of trouble. I'm sorry, I ain't never like getting whoopings, beatings, none of that. I've had plenty, and my mother knows the error of her ways, but she felt as though that's what she needed to do in order to get things, nailed into our heads about life, because life will try you and life does not care. Anyway, y'all, moving right along. He took that tuition check, went on by his business because he was doing the both. Oh, Lord, y'all. So, Sacks. Y'all always say Stacks. Sacks rolled up on Blanca at her house. She was not here for it because, as you know, they were supposed to be working together from the beginning, and he'd been doing his own mission, solo mission from the jump, and she ain't trying to hear nothing he's saying. And then a woman comes to the door, and so he was like, well, I didn't know your sister was here. I didn't know you had a sister. And she was like, I don't. That's my wife. So Blanca is a lesbian, or whatever title she wants to go by. She has a wife and all that stuff. So he said a few things that kind of piqued her interest, so she invited him in. And long story short, they're trying to find information that connects the St. Patrick's, whether it's Ghost, Tariq, or whoever, to Ray Ray's death and Kanan's death. And Blanca is like, I'm trying to figure out what's going on because somebody went in under a name that is supposed to be the son of Kanan's. And this person was the person who claimed his ashes. And we all know that that was Tariq. And so she was like, well, I didn't understand what was going on. So when they pulled the video footage, of course, it showed Tariq being the one who was pulling that stunt. So, everything is coming together, and she's thinking that he's the one that has something to do with Ray Ray as well, because so much stuff is just going unnoticed. Stuff was being dismissed left and right. So much stuff that you should be able to be like, look, this gotta be them who's doing this. They getting away with too much stuff, and a lot of stuff is catching up to them. Oh, Lord, y'all. So Ramona has proposed Ghost taking a political route. And so he was like, well, I don't know about all that. And he said something about being lieutenant governor. And, he was just like, I don't know about all that. I don't know. And, running on the ticket with Tate. So, she was talking to Tate about that. Of course, Tate don't want nothing to do with Ghost. So he looking at him. She looking at him like, you need this. And he looking at her like, girl, they already doing the most with me. I'm already one blackface they hardly want to see. You think they gonna really try to see somebody and they got two black faces on the ticket? I don't know about all that. Y'all, Derek, who was the husband of the woman who Tate was screwing, came in the building with Ghost. And, he was about to go and do like some kind of appearance where he was going to go up against the person who he's running against, and they were going to make an appearance, be on TV or whatever, and do a town hall meeting or something like that, y'all. So nothing has happened yet, and he was just like, I don't know why he's here, whatever. And he was like, look, he's just here just in case they have some questions about the Queen's Child Project, whatever. Y'all, tell me why Tate and Ghost get into it so bad that Tate did not realize what was happening to him, which was he was mic'd, the mic was on, and old boy went up to the sound man and had the audio playing of everything that he was saying in the back, where he was reading everybody down to the point where even the audience was just like, what? Oh my God. Like, everybody just started getting louder and louder because he was being very, very, very dirty, filthy, and just everything was just, the gloves were off with everything that he was saying. And then next thing he knew, he was just like, what's going on here? So he didn't really connect the dots or whatever. But yeah, Ghost screwed him And like I always tell people, I don't care what nobody say. Ghost do what's best for Ghost. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you say. He halfway care about the children, but he mainly care about himself. I don't care. After it all falls down, after everything is all said and done, he is all about self. Whatever. But yeah, Ghost screwed him over. Y'all, so Tariq is looking for information on that teacher. His mama was talking to him that day when they were in the daycare, and she was like, well, try to find out some information on him because, he might be able to be an asset. He might be able to help us in a way where he doesn't even know he's helping us and, to move the drugs and all this other stuff. So he just sat up here. He had been watching that teacher like a hawk. He saw when he left out of his office, so he found his opportunity to pop up, see what's going on. So he used one of his tricks that he learned from Kanan, and he got the door open. He went through his drawers, and he didn't find any drugs or anything, but he found letters that were past due bills and all this other stuff. And so he took pictures of it, for evidence so he could show his mama later on. Y'all, this was information on a family that had been doing like a Ponzi scheme or something. And his mama and daddy, they went down for a really bad Ponzi scheme, like a really big one. The daddy killed himself, I guess, because he wasn't going to be able to take it. And his mama is like doing 30 something years in prison. So any bills that had been going on, he is in debt up to his eyeballs, to the point where everything is past due. He is stressed out, and that's why he really feels like now, yes, this is true. This dude really is looking for his next meal ticket, so to speak. So anyway, Ramona is really now on board with getting Ghost to be on the team, and especially after all this stuff happened with the mic. So like I told y'all, Tate is dumb. He don't realize that he set him up for the okie doke. And in all honesty, after all that stuff went down, Tate is, he's all here for it. He was like, okay, well, whatever, set up a press conference, let everybody get here. I'll apologize. I'll do photo opportunities with Ghost and tell him what the strategy is going to be. And I'll lay it on thick and we can smooth everything over. So he was on board with it. He was like, and so she was like, well, okay, I'll go talk to him about it. I'll get him to come. So he did eventually agree to it or whatever. Y'all, Keisha got pulled over. And so I'm thinking, okay, this is going to be somewhat of a teachable moment. But y'all, it ended up being Blanca pulling her over. And she had someone with her. So anyway, when she pulled her over, she was like, you need to go ahead and fess up to the stuff that's going on, that has gone down, or you're going to go to prison and all this other stuff. And so, y'all, this heifer had the gall, nerve, audacity to bring a social worker or somebody just from social services to take Cash and put him in the car with her, to really scare her into doing what she wanted them to do, which is to sign a cooperation agreement. So she was just like, if you don't sign this cooperation agreement, we're going to put him in foster care. No, we're not going to give him till deadbeat baby daddy, who's an ex-con or whatever she said, somebody used to be in prison, he going right into the foster care system. So after she was faced with that decision, she said, do that. If you don't sign this, that's what's going to happen. Sign this and you can get back in your car with your son and go home and just, look out for my phone call. So she basically was forced into signing that paperwork. Y'all, Ramona came to Ghost and she wants him to be lieutenant governor. Like, she's really like, look, I really think this can go the way we want it to go. And so, like I said, he's on board. Tommy is playing stepdad to Cash. Now, after the situation went down with Keisha, she told him, you can never let anybody know what happened here today. And I mean, nobody. And I'm like, girl, why didn't you say, baby, I understand you're really close to Tommy, but you definitely cannot tell him. Do not tell him. Do not tell him. Do not tell him. I really feel like it would have been a better chance of what's about to happen to not happen. Because y'all know how Tommy is, and he going to feel like everybody holding out on him. Y'all, playing stepdad to him, taking him to, I guess, what would be after school practice for basketball. So he in his feelings and he's not talking. And so he was like, you ain't hardly say nothing on the way over here. What's going on? You're not being yourself. And so he eventually was going to go over there and play basketball. And then he came back to him and he was like, Tommy, He was like, all these things have been going on. You know, me and my mom got stopped today. Told her the whole situation. I was just like, oh God, boy, you finna get your mama killed. You finna get your mama killed. You and your mama. Oh my gosh. And so, you know, he's still treating him with kid gloves, and I'm glad, because y'all know how Tommy can get. He don't care if you're a child, he don't care if you're a puppy, you can go. So I was glad that he didn't, you know, kill him in front of these people. Y'all, so anyway, after he dropped him off, he was like, I'll be back later to get you from practice. So, you know, you ain't got to worry about nothing. Nothing's going to happen. I'm in your life, whatever. Y'all, he went home to Keisha, who was, you know, of course they're moving. She's putting up all of these glasses and all this stuff. So he was like, hey, Keisha, how was your day? And so she was like, it was fine. And so he was like, you know, do anything interesting or whatever. He really was trying to make small talk with her, get her to talk. She wouldn't say nothing. Man, Tommy dropped a box of glasses on the ground. Was like, why are you lying to me? And I was like, oh, Lord, no, wait a minute, baby. And you know, he rolled all the way up on her. I was like, oh, God, girl, you finna get killed. You've been in danger, but you finna die right now. And he was like, why wouldn't you tell me these things? And then after he really was about to roll up, I really thought he was going to start at least choking her a little bit. And then she mentioned the fact that she knows what happened to Holly. And she felt like if she would have said anything to him about that she would end up like Holly. And so... and she was like, and I didn't say anything the other day when he came to me trying to get me to talk. I didn't say nothing when any of these people came to me and tried to talk. You know, because Sax, like I told you, Sax rolled up on her the other day too. And so he was like, and you're still here. And so, you know, for him, that was like, okay, you are being loyal. Okay, cool. So they ended up hugging each other. And he was kind of, you know, he was relieved. And he was like, wow, she really is around her. And she looking like, ooh, I messed up. Wait a minute. But within that conversation, the reason why she felt as though she messed up was because Blanca told her, you do know your name is on the deed, right? And if he go away, you're going to be left holding the bag. We ain't going to guarantee that we're going to let you keep your shop. So you ain't going to have no money. So you're going to be out here and we probably going to take the house. Like, she was really making it seem like she ain't going to have nothing. And her child was going to go into the system anyway and all this other stuff. Y'all, come to find out, Tommy was like, this house is purchased. I bought this house for us. This is your house. That's why your name on the deed. I was like, oh gosh, girl, you dumb. And my thing is this, I still wouldn't have wavered. I feel as though I still wouldn't have wavered because I'm like, girl, all this money Tommy be coming up off of, I don't feel like he's sitting up here paying a mortgage. And for the fact that, the sheer fact that he came in the middle of the night and was like, this is your house. Why wasn't that the question you asked? I would have, my thing is, you already know how he got the money. Why didn't you say, this is our house, like we don't have a mortgage, all we gotta do is pay for the lights or whatever, right? I'm the type of person, I ask stuff like that. I guess she's just so dumb she don't ask questions like that. But in all honesty, despite all of that, I still would not have wavered, and I would have been like, girl, I don't know. Given the fact that cash is one of a part of the equation, I understand her wanting to stay with her child. So I don't know, that was a really sticky situation. But at the same time, even after all that happened, she should have went to him and was like, look, it told me that if I ain't signed this, I was going to get cash, but I really love you. I haven't said nothing to nobody. I just need for you to know this. I don't want to end up like Holly. Then I feel like he would have been able to help make some other steps to correct the situation, and they still could have been together. She might have lived a little bit longer, whatever, y'all. That's just my thoughts on that. But that's neither here or there. So, you know, we won't have to deal with what's finna happen. Y'all, Tariq planted drugs in that teacher's car. So this man that went to his trunk and he sees all kinds of drugs just laid out in a burner phone, and then the burner phone starts texting him and you know, just giving him all these instructions. So then Tariq walks by and he lets down the window and he was like, Tariq, was that from you? And he was like, what? And he really tried to look convincing to this teacher. And so he was like, oh, nothing. And he rolled the window up and gone about his business. And I'm like, Lord, you just dumb. You really want to be that dumb, sir? Y'all, Tommy called Ghost and was like, look, we got to take out Sax now. Anybody got time for this? And he was like, look, man, I ain't got time for all this. I got so much going on, y'all. Ghost is tired. He hanging up on everybody. He ain't trying to hear nobody got going on. And then, luckily, he didn't say too much because Blanca walked in and wanted to talk to him. And she's trying to make it seem like, well, we found some evidence and we're getting close to who we think is the person who killed Proctor in your home. And I was just like, girl, stop. Ghost wasn't trying to hear nothing she had to say. He went on by, like, he literally was like, yeah, you can have whatever day you gonna have. He didn't say have a nice day. You know how some people, even if you being nice, nasty, you will say, and you have a nice day and you have a blessed day. He said, you go ahead and have whatever day you gonna have. I was like, wait a minute, you done read this heifer and walked off on her in his own club, but that was his first and major mistake. He walked away after he'd already had a drink that had all of his DNA all over it, whether it be fingerprints or saliva and all the, whatever fibers and, skin cells from his lips. So she politely took the glass and placed it into an evidence bag and took it to her boss. So I was like, wow, this is what we do. Y'all, Keisha called Blanca and told her that, she messed up and that, the information that she told her was wrong. She didn't mean to sign that paper and all this other stuff. And so she was like, well, you do know that if you don't come in and turn yourself in or whatever and talk to me, that we're going to pick you up and, whatever. And so she was like, look, I promise I'm going to come up there. I'm going to go get cash right now from school and we going to come up there. So this heifer finna go pack some bags, because she probably gonna have to go into witness. I mean, she's like gonna have to go into witness protection or whatever, the situation gonna be. Y'all fill in the blanks for me on that. But yeah, because I'm going too fast and my head's starting to hurt and the weather about to do the most out here. Y'all, we're getting down to the end of the episode. And y'all, Tommy and Ghost rolled up to Sax's apartment. And he was in there watching porn and, playing with himself. And they literally busted in the door and it just looked like old Tommy and Ghost time, the way one person was doing one thing and it was just all kinds of synchronization going on. Let me get this chair, you get him, you get the bag that you gonna suffocate him with, you get the, y'all with the zip ties, and y'all, they was about to kill him something terrible. And Sax had the bag over his head, suffocating, almost about to die. And then he said some stuff that was going to save his life about his son and information that he knew. And Tommy had, long before that said, what I'm saying? It don't even matter no more because I am the one who killed Angela. So you could go ahead and burn in hell knowing that information and all this other stuff. So it got to the point where Ghost was like, look, Tommy, don't do it. Don't kill him. We're going to need him. He is literally the last person on the inside, and we can use him to our advantage. So Tommy ain't really trying to hit it at first, and then it got to the point where once certain things were said, Ghost popped that bubble so that he could breathe through that bag and was like, look, we can use him, and you owe me. So since that was him owing him for, I guess, killing Angela, he was like, all right, he saved you. He was like, yeah, he saved you. Y'all, I cannot. And they basically told him, nobody's gonna believe you, saying that we broke into your house. If you go tell anybody anything, we will kill you, because we could have easily killed you just now. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. So basically he's going to be working for them, whether he wants to or not, unless he kills himself or tries to run away and can't be found again. Y'all, Blanca was able to prove that Tariq was the one who indeed killed Ray Ray because of that one speck of blood that was at the house and they couldn't figure out who it was, by running the DNA evidence that she got off of the glass that Ghost was drinking out of. So she got the 50-50 comparison, which of course means Ghost is his father. There are so many people who think that Kanan was his daddy. In all honesty, that just hit me. I'm so glad that happened, because like I told y'all before, I'm in this group that's surrounded by power, and all these people swear up and down that Tasha and Kanan were a thing and that those were his kids. And I'm like, didn't nobody never deny them being his kids? Didn't nobody ever in life say nothing different? And she ain't never been able to stand Kanan. So what is you talking about? What is going on? Anyway, So yeah, they've been able to prove that, that was the situation. She brought that to her boss, and they're gonna have to figure out how they're gonna be able to bring that into, their situation. Y'all, Tate is mad because Ghost didn't show up. He ended up going where Tommy wanted him to go, so that situation ended up going away for him. So since he showed up late, Tate was in his feelings and he was drinking. He been drinking. And I don't even like that song. I don't know what's wrong with me. But anyway, he was drinking his feelings, and he gonna apologize for not being there. He was like, yeah, all the cameras are gone. All the people who had the cameras are gone. Everybody who I could have been able to do interviews with on. Y'all, this man was in his feelings. And so he said something about the Queen's Child Project. He was like, yeah, I'm gonna need for you to know there is no Queen's Child Project anymore. He pulled all that stuff. He pulled the plug on all of that. He was like, you screw me, I screw you. And now you need to get out of here. I was like, oh gosh, you done went off, sir. He might end up getting killed in one of these episodes, so I ain't gonna be surprised if that happened. So anyway, Saxe went to go try to talk to his boss and told him all the information that just happened with him. He had a big old bruise on his head from when he said something, I forgot what he said, but he knocked who was it? Tommy knocked him out. It was Tommy or Ghost. They knocked him out something terrible. So anyway, everything he told him was the truth. He was like, yeah, I don't believe you. And then it got to the point, he was like, if any of that were true, it don't even matter because you're fired. And so he was like, yeah, unless you're able to prove any of this, I might apologize to you, but you're still fired. So you've been dismissed. Goodbye. Kill yourself, do something, because you ain't doing no good for nobody else. Y'all, Tommy went to get cash, and he was going to shop for engagement rings. Y'all, meanwhile, Keisha was at her house packing bags because she was going to go get cash, and, it was just unexpected that Tommy did because he didn't know what was going on with his feelings. And he was just like, wow, she really is ride or die. And she didn't know what was going on with his feelings. So she definitely doesn't even know what's going on. So she gets a knock on the door, and it's Tasha. Tasha and Ghost spoke earlier, and they were just like, nah, she ain't gonna keep our secret no more. And you're gonna have to talk to her or whatever. So she was like, I'll go talk to her. I'll go handle this, whatever. So she ends up opening the door and talking to her. And she was just like, where are you going? And so in her mind, she was like, okay, you finna try to run because you about to try to run because you know you did something you had nothing to do. You talking to the police, you talking to somebody that you don't need to talk to. And so she was like, I ain't saying nothing to nobody. Tasha, I ain't never done nothing. I've been loyal to you. I've been nothing but loyal to you. I'm not doing anything. Y'all, why this heifer had the whole agreement sitting out there signed? Tasha was like, what is this? Took the paper, read it, and she read her, was like, you're lying. She was like, no, it was a mistake and all this other stuff. Y'all, then this heifer starts eyeing her purse. Why you start eyeing your purse? Girl, I'm just like, girl, you dumb. She starts eyeing her purse. So Tasha's like, why you keep looking over there at your purse? And so eventually she starts darting for her purse. Tasha follows suit. They get into a scuffle with the gun, of course, that's in her purse. And they really are scuffling. And Tasha gets it. And she ends up getting it knocked out of her hand. And y'all, it gets to the point where they are really scuffling with it again. And then Tasha shoots Keisha in her chest. And then she was just looking at her like, girl, you can't be trusted. And so then she was like, Tasha, don't do this to me. Think of cash. Don't do this to me. I was like, girl, if you don't shut up with this terrible act. Y'all, she shot that heifer in her head. I was like, I know I'm wrong, but that's what happened. Shot her in her head, y'all. Y'all, Tommy done finished ring shopping. He done got to the house, and so they done planned everything they gonna do. Went and got this big bouquet of roses. So he was like, okay, so we gonna do this together, whatever. And they start walking to the house. For some reason, Tommy did this number. Leaned over and looked in the window, and he was like, I know, I'll see what I see. So he ended up telling Cash, on second thought, I'm gonna do this alone. He went back in the car. You know, he looked a little sad because he was so happy. He helped him pick the ring out and everything. He was like, which ring you think your mama like? I was like, Lord. So he made sure he got in the car. Then after he got in the car, he went in the house. When he went in the house and he really rolled up on her and saw her dead the way she was dead and laying there like that, he dropped that ring box on the floor. He started crying. I was like, Lord. So of course y'all know he thinks that Ghost has done this, making him think that everything is okay, enough to where we ain't got to worry about me killing you, you killing me, or the same situation happening again where he did what he did to Angela, even though that was somewhat of a mistake. Y'all, he finna be out for blood. I can't wait to see it. I think the next episode come on next week, or this was the mid-season finale. One of the two just happened. But anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this recap. I have 2 more reviews coming. Hopefully y'all will enjoy them. One of them is Married, Love and Marriage Huntsville, and y'all see what the other one is if I do it. I think I am gonna do it, but yeah. It's the reason why most of y'all have subscribed to me, so that gives you a little bit of a hint. But anyway, y'all have a good evening, and I will see y'all for the next video. Bye.